Once in a while, I talk to someone who has massive headaches, who has migraines, or, for whatever reason, they really don't understand why these headaches are happening. Some headaches have a trigger. Some headaches come for apparently no reason, and then they're gone. I did a blog post on this some time ago, but I wanted to demonstrate your hands and your feet technically, but I'm not going to do feet, I'm going to do hands because they're more accessible. Your hands have nerves running all the way through all of the fingers, connecting here into a major nerve that runs all the way up your arm. Your fingertips are connected to the top of your head. That's just the way it works. Everything is connected. So getting rid of pain, getting rid of inflammation, getting rid of congestion in general is a relatively simple process. Now, I'm not going to say easy because it isn't necessarily easy. But when I meet someone who has a headache, I'm going to ask them where the headache is. Is it on the left side of the head? Is it on the right side of the head? Is it in the back? Is it in the front? Where is the headache? And that by itself is going to give me a good idea of what needs to be done. Second, is it a migraine? Can they identify it as a migraine? Because the hand that I use is going to be determined by whether it is a standard headache or whether it is a migraine. A migraine is going to be on the same side. So I will use the left hand if the migraine is on the left side. I will use the right hand if the migraine is on the right side. And then if it's a regular headache, I'm going to use the opposite hand. So if a regular headache is on the left side, I'm going to use the right hand. If a regular headache is on the right side, I'm going to use the left hand, and so on. So those are the two things that I need to be aware of. Where is the headache located? And is it a standard headache or is it a migraine? So the next thing is that I have done a lot of reading and research about various ways of massage and various ways of getting rid of headaches. And most of them, from my experience, and this is my experience, are bogus. Okay? You have your little map of the man drawn on your hand or on your foot or on your ear, or you have the zones, and this zone is that one zone is for the liver and one zone is for the kidney and one zone is. I have never, in doing this, I've never found those zone maps to be accurate. Now, I do not currently have a headache. I very seldom get headaches, but the first thing I'm going to do when someone tells me I have a headache is a general massage. Now, people tell me that I have very strong hands. What I'm looking for is a spot on the hand. It's not always on the palm, but I look for a spot on the hand that crunches under my fingers. I'm looking for nerve congestion, and I actually found a little piece right there. And you have to massage that out. Now this is completely contrary to a lot of the general information that's out there. It's going to be in a different place each time. One time it could be deep under the pad of the thumb, and you may have to really dig in to get that. One time it could be on the side of one of the fingers or on the back. Now the hardest to work with is when it is in between the bones, when it's deep in between the bones on the back of the hand. That's very hard to get out without actually hurting the person that I'm working on. So I have to be very careful. Another thing is if that's a major headache, it's probably going to be sensitive. For example, with migraines, if I were to find, I found that spot right here, right? A crunch spot. I massaged it out, so it's not there anymore. But if I were, say I were to find a crunch here on the side of the hand. Now, when someone goes like this, I'm aware, or when they tense up, I'm aware that that is a sensitive spot. And I am actually going to, if I were to find a spot right here and the person tensed up, I would actually work around it, work around that spot, and slowly massage out around it until there's no more tension. Now, a lot of people, they just tense up automatically, and I have to remind them to relax. Just relax, just relax, just relax, just relax. So if I work out around that spot, okay, there's a bone right here, which it makes it a little bit harder, because if the spot is right there along that bone, I'm going to have to work through the muscle pad up here and work down in between the bones right here to try and get to that congestion and get that out of there, or at least get it softened up so that there's no more pain. Now, I was talking to my sister at one point, and she had a migraine, and we were sitting in the car. We had just come home from a meeting, and I started massaging her hands, and I found this spot, and I wasn't really talking to her about what I was doing, but I found the spot that needed to be massaged out, and I was working on it, and maybe 5 minutes or so, and she goes, and I went, what? And she said, it's gone. And sometimes it is just that fast, where you realize that all of a sudden there's no more pain. So when I do this, I find the spot of congestion, and after a while it becomes instinctive to feel what that congestion, to see what that congestion feels like. And it can be anywhere on the hand, it can be on the back of the hand, it can be in the bones, it can be on the side of the hand, it can be on the palm, it can be up into the wrist. I generally don't go any further than the hand, just because there are nerve ganglions further up that have specific uses and specific meanings. But generally, I use the hand, and then often when I find that spot and I massage it out, the person then realizes that they had another spot on the other hand, or on the other side of the head. And I will massage that one out and work that. Some time ago I was told that this is trigger point therapy that I'm doing. And it has different things. Hold on just a minute. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze, and you really did not want to experience that. But I was told that I was working with trigger point therapy, which makes sense. And I went out and did some research on trigger point therapy, and it actually makes sense. But trigger point therapy also doesn't quite cover what I'm doing. It has aspects of chiropractic, it has aspects of massage therapy, it has aspects of half a dozen different medical things that people use. But it's relatively easy to work with. Anyone can do it. You can do it on yourself. And one thing to be aware of is that people who have chronic illnesses, be very, very careful. Or people who have acute illnesses that are causing them immediate problems, like someone who has they're already nauseous. If you hit the wrong spot, they're gonna throw up. If you have someone who has a chronic illness that is nerve related, massaging the nerves, using the nerves to get rid of pain might not be the best option. So use caution, just like everything else. Do your research and see if this is something that will work for you. I will talk with you later.